Hi traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. Let me go grab the bias chart here. And all right, let's see. Okay, so here's your bias chart, and let's go ahead and look at everything. So here's the euro dollar. The euro dollar is just trading around the euro dollar is just trading around the 107 level. Relative strength is divergent here, which, isn't surprising. I mean, as we make stabs lower, we're just kind of, people are a little hesitant, and rightfully so. Yep. Sorry, I just had to stretch. Traders are a little hesitant, being super aggressive down here, which, how can you blame them? When you have the dollar index pushing up against resistance at 100.50, and we've hit a high today at 100.53, and previous highs are right 100.47, and so we're up against key resistance here. So you have a lot of people that are hesitant to pull the trigger. So it makes complete sense. Does that mean this is a good area to actually counter trend long the euro? I mean, you can if you want to. I don't know if that is the right decision right now. I look around and I think to myself, like, man, this is a gnarly move. What we can do, let's double check something. Let's take this low here to the high, and see the 161% extension of this last range comes in. And that comes in at whoops, right here at 106.26. So I mean, really, I don't see any support till we get down to 106.50. That doesn't mean that that's where we're going. I'm just saying that that's the next real level of support here. So I'm going to write down 106.50. Okay. And it's not even great support. I just think it is a support level on the way down. Now, overnight, we cracked through this 107.10, 107 that we'd been monitoring since yesterday. Okay. But that the move is happening with relative strength divergence, so it's hard to get too bearish down here. All right, but at the same time, do you really want to get bullish? I had, and actually I need to cancel it. I had an order to sell the euro dollar at 108 overnight. Obviously, didn't get triggered. But we'll write down the overnight highs, which is 107.60. Okay. $107.60, which is going to be a resistance right now, and it is bearish. Okay. All right, let's go look at the cable. Now the cable is actually holding up pretty good. So, I mean, the pound's holding up exceptionally well today, considering you got the euro breaking down. The pound isn't hasn't broken down, not yet anyway. Now, I don't know what to do with the cable because I know that we have support down here, 123.25. I'll write down resistance at being at 125 because you can see all these spike highs. You can see here. Let's grab spike high, spike high, spike high. So, this 125 level is going to be a really key resistance. Support is going to be at 123, 123.25, as you guys know. Okay. 123.25 and 1.25. Since the dollar is so bullish, I think the wiser trade is trying to sell the pound on a move back to 125. Okay, so at this point, what I would be more interested in right now is if we got a rally up here to turn around and just get on the short side. That's what I would probably do with the cable. I don't have any pound exposure right now. I don't. And I don't necessarily. Oh, bonds are coming back in again. This bond market's so heavy. Um, so anyway, um, okay. So anyway, yeah, bonds are starting to move lower again. So again, I'm not in the camp of trying to fade the dollar, but if I can, get a short cable up there, I'd be more interested in doing that. Um, all right, let's go over to the Swissy. I'm a little irritated at myself with the Swissy. I bought the Swissy yesterday. I bought it yesterday at 1.00 1.001 1.0017, no, 15 or something. Okay. And then I sold it, like just for break even or something. I just, I bought it here, sold it for break even. Obviously we dipped and rallied, but this Swissy's in breakout territory, guys. It is in now official breakout territory. Unlike the dollar index, that hasn't broken out yet, the Swissy's actually breaking out. Okay, this is now bullish, right? And I mean, if you look at the daily RSI, we're not even overbought yet. But if you look at where we can go, just near term, and the next resistance comes in at 101.19. Now let me double check something else here. Let's take the high to low. Yeah, see, I have this 786 that comes in around the same area right there. So 101, I'm going to write 101.20 is resistance. That's next resistance on the way up, and then parity is support. Like if we get a dip down to parity, I'm a buyer today. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I am buying. I mean, it, we get a little pullback in the dollar today, and we get down to parity, and I'm going to get long. It's a big breakout. Okay, it's bullish. It is bullish. All right, dollar yen. Now the dollar yen it just continues to stretch its legs. I mean, this is a breakout. You can't even stop the dollar yen. I have to tell you guys a story. This is a total luck. The total luck. Okay, I shorted the dollar yen. Okay, yesterday. I shorted the dollar yen at 109. This is a 4-hour chart. So I shorted at 109. Oh no. Yeah, I shorted at 109.15, right? Something like that. 109.15 yesterday. I put in a stop loss at 109.30. Okay. Then I closed it out manually at 108.98 in Asian trade last night. So I totally closed it out here. All right. And then the dollar's pulling back a little bit. I pulled it off the table. I forgot, and I left my stop. Left my stop was live, and it triggered a long trade, and I got out of it this morning at like right near the highs. Very lucky. That very, very, very lucky today that happened. Yeah. Anyway, So now the just like I said, it was just more luck than anything. Now 110 is the 88% retracement of this move, but you also know that we are above the 38% retracement now. Okay, so there is the potential of us still going to 110 today. It's a big round number. Everybody's got their sights set on it right now, and I think it's quite possible that we test it. Now you have to think about where we can dip to, that you're going to find buyers, which we might actually dip here this morning. Euro dollar's bouncing a little bit. So we're probably going to find some pretty good support at 109 on dips. Oops. Make sure I do that correctly. Okay, it's bullish. I added to my Aussie and the Kiwi just now. Okay. Shorts. Sorry, had to add to those. All right. Let's go over to the dollar Canadian. So the dollar Canadian, it is up because crude oil. Obviously with crude oils rolling over, it's allowed for the dollar Canadian to bounce. Now notice where we bounced yesterday. What was the support we wrote down in the dollar Canadian yesterday? What do you guys have written down on your bias chart from yesterday? Those of you that still have that information in front of you. For the dollar Canadian? $134.25. The low yesterday was 134.22 and 4/10 of a pip. So I was off by, 2 pips, 2 and 4/10 pip. All right. My bad. We have a nice rally. This is obviously now, you can see it's a pretty good range it's set up. Okay. 135.65 is the 50% retracement. Support's held up at 134.25. I think you've got to respect these areas right now. I'm obviously more bearish like the Kiwi and the Aussie. I'm not as bearish the Canadian right now. I had a short Aussie Canadian and Euro or New Zealand Canadian, from over the weekend. Was it over the weekend? I closed them out yesterday. Did well with those. I'm really not sure what to do with the Canadian right now. I don't necessarily want to be short the Canadian, meaning long dollar Canadian. Let me take that back. I don't necessarily want to be short the Canadian currency, meaning long dollar Canadian. I just don't know if I really want to be long Canadian either. So I'm not interested really at this point trading the Canadian. Okay, I'm just not. But 134.25, 135.65, and I think we just need to respect those areas. 134.25 and what was it? 135.65. It is still bullish, by the way. It's still bullish. I mean, we're still forging and pushing in the right areas. It's just it's not as bullish as I would think it would be. All right. All right, let's go over to the Kiwi. Here's the Kiwi. Now, I am short the Kiwi dollar. I've been short overnight. We broke. Here, let's make this a different color. Finally broke all those supports. Now, what is very critical is this. This. That is 70.20. There's the 200-day moving average, 127% extension of that move. That is by far the most important support. If the Kiwi breaks 70.20, you can stick a fork in it. It's done. All right. 70.20 is major support. We could get a rally back, back to this 70.70 area. It's entirely possible. This is here. I can get rid of this blue one. Let's remove that. $70.70 will be a resistance. Sorry. 70.70 and I guess I will write that down just in case. 71.41, 71.40. I doubt we get up there, but just gonna write it just in case, just to have it. Okay, breaking lower. Let's do the Aussie. Get this one out of the way. Moving right along today. All right, here's the Aussie dollar. The Aussie dollar has broken below 75 cents. That is a very bearish event. Why is it so bearish? Because we had a false breakout to the upside. Okay, false breakout to the upside. Now we're breaking lower. We have gone from making higher highs and higher lows to now making lower lows. It's a big shift in trend that just took place over the course of the last 2 weeks. Big shift in trend. We've gone from being in an uptrend, possible, triangle, uptrend, to a reversal. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. All right. I am bearish the Aussie. If you guys don't know how long I've been bearish the Aussie, you can go to Forex Analytics, right? I mean, my colleagues put trades like active pattern in play. This is the 10th of November, 6 days ago. Triangle break, bearish, targeting 72 cents. So I'm targeting a lot lower here at the 618. I've known it was going to break down once we broke through this triangle to the downside. Okay. So it's on its way lower. Just a matter of time. We broke below the 200-day moving average and everything. So, with that being said, where's our next support? Let's figure that out. %, extension comes in right here. That comes in at 74.20. We also have some support down here at 74.40. So I'm going to actually, you know what? Look at all the horizontal support through here. Okay. Okay. 74.20 be support, and then you move back up to 75.10. We'll find sellers. All right, guys, I'll be back in a few minutes to wrap up the rest of these majors, and then I'll answer some questions. All right, don't go anywhere. Be right back. All right, traders. This is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all. So let's continue on with the let's go over to the dollar index. Yeah, dollar index. Okay, so the dollar index, as you guys know, we have we're right up against resistance here. I have to go with the assumption right now. See relative strength breaking out. See, this is actually a very bullish look right here. See relative strength. It is actually breaking higher right now. And I know, looking at it, it's like, okay, well, it was divergent, but now we're breaking higher, trying to break higher in price, and relative strength is trying to break higher too. So that could, like I said, I've got to go with the running assumption that we're going to break out. Okay, doesn't mean that we're going to, but because we're at resistance, the next level of resistance is 101.14, or I'll just write down 101.15. All right. We may not get there, but I have to write it down. All right. And we're bullish, but remember, we're also at the top of the channel. You have to remember, and this is important for you guys, it's important to know that we always look most bullish when we're at resistance. We always look most bullish when we're at resistance, okay? So we are, whoops. So obviously right now, we're right up against resistance and it looks really bullish. It can turn lower. I mean, obviously I'm going to be on a lookout for a possible dollar reversal today, even though I'm long the dollar. So let me say that again. I'm looking for a possible dollar reversal, even though I'm long the dollar, because I don't want to get caught up in being long the dollar, see a reversal signal, and then stay long the dollar. I got to get out of all my dollar longs if that happens today. Okay, you have to be very extra cautious while you're up at resistance. You have to be. It's important. But I'm not getting out of my dollar longs right now, just so you all know. No reason to. Right. So right now, support for the dollar. I'm trying to think, where do I get worried? I mean, obviously down here, but I would get worried way before that. 99.90, I guess, will be support right now. Okay. While we remain above 99.90, I don't think there's any real reason to worry about the dollar at this point. Okay. U.S. dollar, Mexican peso. Now the peso, I don't have any exposure in. I would like to actually be short the U.S. dollar, Mexican peso, but not right now. We held the 38% retracement, which now is very important to understand that. That is going to be major support, 2014. I have to imagine that any move up to 21 is just going to find sellers. I mean, we can go obviously higher than 21, but I have to imagine 21 is going to find some sellers. It is still bullish though. U.S. dollar, Norwegian krona. Man, look at this. There's the U.S. dollar, Norwegian krona. So if we break 852, that would be very bullish for the US dollar Norwegian krona. 852, then 860. Support right now. I know we wrote down 840. Let's just continue to write down 840. Maybe we wrote it down. I don't know if we wrote it down yesterday, but here's the US dollar Swedish krona. Man, look at this thing. What did we write down? What did we write down as resistance yesterday for the US dollar Swedish krona? Did we write down 920? Is that what we wrote down yesterday? 920 we did? Huh. That's pretty good, isn't it? And we basically hit 921 and then pulled back. I mean, look at God, this thing is so bullish. It is so bullish. It just, but it's not giving you many places to buy it. You know, it just dips. The dips are just well supported. You know, dip down here to 906, right back up again. I don't even know how to read this now. Like, let's get rid of this. We don't need this one. I mean, the 161% extension of the flag itself comes in at 948. I mean, seriously, like, it's crazy. I don't even know what to write here. I really don't. Okay, let's go ahead and write down support as being this. Basically 909. That I can write down. 9.09. Resistance, I mean, I don't know. 923 maybe? It's very minor. It's just brushing up against that trend line. Still bullish. All right. Well, guess what? Looking at our bias chart, what does that tell you? We've seen it morph over the course of the last week. But look at that bias chart that we've come up with. It's very dollar bullish. Think about that. So when you can look at the dollar index and you can go, oh, the dollar index looks pretty bullish here, but when you break down all the individual currencies, look at how bullish the dollar really is. Ron says Christmas time. It does kind of look like a Christmas tree, doesn't it? For those of you that celebrate Christmas.